Welcome to Afternoon Vibes.
Welcome.
Welcome to Afternoon Vibes. We are here again, like I'll always say,
Yeah.
to give you vibes while you learn, while you pick one or two for your day, your week, your month, or your life. Yes, thank God for a day like this again. My name is Akinwale Deborah, and my host is.
Shayo John Adebayo.
Why are you thinking about your name?
This seemed like the best of your introductions.
Wow! Well, I take it as a compliment. Thank you. Right, so we are here to talk about something very, very important. Courtesy. Right, so the topic of today is your environment. Your environment. We would like to talk, we would like to break it into nitty-gritty. We would like to explain one or two things, but I would like you to sit back. Like I'll always say, take water at least. We are coming back. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Welcome
Welcome.
back. Yeah, it's Afternoon Vibes, and today we're talking about your environment. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is your physical environment. Yes, so I guess we just take it from there. We're actually looking at how our environment influence our lives, influence, our decisions, influence where we end up in life. It's as serious as that, because when we say your environment, we're not only talking about your geographical environment alone. You understand? Your environment is an ambiguous word. It's a word that we can break into different perspectives. You understand? We have mental environment. Yes. Don't worry, you get to understand as we as we go on in the discussion. So first, let's take it from the physical environment. As human beings, we have senses. You understand? We're taught in school that we have 5 senses, right? You remember?
Yes, no.
Sense of
Seeing, hearing,
smelling,
touching, smelling,
tasting.
and tasting. Yeah.
Tasting, right? Good. And then we're taught again that we have the 6th sense. That's I think the mind now.
Okay.
So now our environment, there's a way our senses interact with our environment, and there's a way it impacts the physiology of our body. Now, so some of these things are things that we actually overlook, or we don't really pay attention to it, but there are things that have they are very subtle, but they have great impact on our lives. For instance, someone who is living in a single room apartment, and then the bed, some of the bed, maybe the foam, on one part has torn. You understand? The bed sheet is looking somehow. The curtain itself, you understand, not looking new, or it's one apart that you put on the window. Now I'm trying to paint a picture of an environment now in a room, and even the chair is already dirty, and now that's where you live. Now that's where you go out, you come in, you meet yourself there every day, you come in, you meet yourself there every day. Now just hold that in mind. Now another person who is living in, let's say, a 2-bedroom apartment and is blessed, you understand, both of them bachelors, is blessed, he has set up his living room, nice, beautiful flat screen TV, beautiful wallpaper, flower, different lightings in the living room. Now, that's 2 different environments that I've, painted now. Now, the rate at which each one of them will be thinking when they're in their house will be vastly different. Now, I'm talking from my perspective now, because I do things that has to do with creativity. I have to do, creative thinking most of the time. So now, put myself in those 2 scenarios. Now, the way I would think in that first room will be so different from the way I would think. Now, I'm trying to, give a very simple example to tell us how our environment influences us. You understand? So that's why sometimes when some people want to, you know, maybe they want to create an idea or create something big, they just go to a particular place, you know, maybe they can just interact with nature or just, you know, or they can just even get it on YouTube. That's why we have such videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You understand? They just play like 3-4 hours of
water, maybe sound of water.
Sound of water, and then the footages will be, you know, of nature, mountains. Now, why is that? So you are trying to do something to your mind, to your mental environment. Now, this is where we are going. Now, you need to begin to pay attention to your environment. There's sometimes that you just feel tense unnecessarily. Sometimes it might be your environment, and you know, if you change that environment. Now, environment could even be something you're watching. You understand? You know, when you're watching something, you're feeding your eyes with that, you're feeding your mind with that. Is you know, you have an internal world. So it could be just change, you know, the information coming in, or just, okay, we've seen some people that, okay, I'm working on this thing and I'm just tense, idea is not coming, okay, let me just play a game, or let me just, you understand? So you are trying to do something to your environment, mental environment, physical environment. So you understand the context we are talking from now. So and this thing is within your control, it's within your reach, you understand? And so I don't want to go ahead of myself, so that I would want to take it in a sequential order, you understand? So first, we're looking at the geographical environment. How does our physical environment, how does it affect us, the way we think, how does it affect us, the way we talk? I was sharing with Deborah before we came on show that I know of twins. Now, they were living together, and very identical twins, ladies, and then they were growing, but at some point they had to stay, you know, with different families. One of them stayed with the family, the other person had to go stay with another family, I think due to schooling or something. So within those years that they were apart, by the time the other lady came back, they were not looking as identical as they were. Before. And there were so many differences in the way they behave. Now, what has happened? The other one has been exposed to a different environment that has shaped our way of thinking, our philosophy about life, has shaped everything. Do you understand? So that's how much our environment have great influence over us. So if our environment have this much influence over us, then I think it's wise that we now become intentional about our environment. So don't forget, we're still on physical environment. So Debbie, how do you come into this?
Well, yeah, I agree with our physical environment affecting us. And there's still an underlying statement that says it depends on how you respond to whatever environment that you find yourself. It can be a positive response or a negative response. So that also matters. But coming back, before we go too far, is that your environment has a lot to do about who you are and maybe where you're going. That's why I don't know if you have gone for a business class or a business training or something. There's something that they do tell us, that try to go out of your immediate environment. It will help your business thinking. It will help you to think wider than you will normally think. Because when you are thinking, you think only according to your environment, according to where you are, according to what you can see, according to what you can feel, hear, touch, taste. So until you taste something outside the box of where you are, you won't see outside of where you are. So coming back to that too, we can say if you are in the midst of a bad influence, which is an environment, it can affect your person. You might feel like it's not affecting you, which I've been made to understand that it is like diffusion, or what's it called? You won't know until you see that your decisions are tweaking. It might not change, but you will see that some things that you did not agree with, you start to feel like, well, it's not like it's too bad. It's not like, or I can do it this way, but I might not go to the extra. You start to give allowances because of the environment you're exposed to. And some things so that you start to reduce the allowance you give it because of the environment you're exposed to. So it has a great deal of things it does to us. We won't know. Maybe you are amidst the people that, maybe people that smoke. Not even number one thing is that you're actually smoking when you're with them. You are not okay, that's the way I can even say inversely you're doing what they're doing. Because you are perceiving, you're taking in what they are smoking too, you are smoking. It's just that you are not handling a cigarette. But the only thing that they're taking in while handling a cigarette is the smoke. And you're also inhaling it. What makes the difference? So I can bring that to the environment you are. So it might not affect you faster than it will affect them. But in the long run, over time, it starts to affect. That's where I still come back to your environment affects you either intentionally or unintentionally. It has an effect on you. It's now also either a positive response or a negative response. Sorry, before I move it to him too, I can say two children that are born into an abusive home will have different responses. Or a girl child that was sexually abused have two different responses. One can be more sexually active, that she wants to have sex. She feels like what has happened. I'm no more a virgin, so why stay there? Another one will start to hate on guys. When he sees guys or any guy that wants to act any way awkward, he just becomes very, very hot, very harsh at guys. Or even if you see an older man that wants to play rough with a younger girl, there's a way you just stand up and they wonder what happened. So that has two responses, or those are two responses to the same experience, to the same environmental experience. So the way you respond to an environment matters, and that environment also can affect the way you think and the way you see life.
Thank you much, Deborah. And extending a little to the family setting now, looking at in a family setup, that's why parents are usually always intentional about the kind of place they can live, the kind of
Yes.
You understand that, because that's very, very important. One thing about us as human beings is that it's not only the food that we eat that makes up who we are. That's they say like you understand, we grow, and we are nourished by the food we eat. But beyond the food we eat, we are also nourished by our environment. We feed, our body feeds from our environment.
Our minds especially.
And our minds, the way you look sometimes. Okay, look at Deborah now. She just made this beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, now imagine if she's abroad, let's say maybe UK. Now she wants to make her hair. I'm sure she's not going to look like this. She's not going to dress like this. She's not going to make this hair.
Tell me about
the same person. So, and this is very subtle, you understand, because little by little it affects our decisions.
Yes.
And don't forget, your life is the sum total of all the decisions you make. So our environment has a role too in the decision making. You understand? So now that's why you need to be intentional. You need to be mindful of your physical environment. We're still talking about physical environment now. You understand? It affects everything about it. Affects the way you talk. It affects the way you relate with people. You understand? It affects what is right to you and what is wrong to you. You understand? Like we were saying before we came live, that when someone says let's go have fun, now that's let's go have fun means different things to different people. You understand? All still coming from environment. So some of us, we have become who we are today because of the environment we grew in. You understand? Sometimes, okay, I think I'm taking it gradually to the next. Now some people in some families, they grew up, in love. Like there's love, there's unity. Every member of the family has a sense of worth, sense of importance. Unlike some other family that, hey, what is wrong with you? You are bad, you are a stupid boy. Nonsense.
It breeds mediocrity.
Exactly. But there's some other family that is the opposite, that, oh, you're important, you're beautiful. Daddy can just look at his daughter one day, wow, you're looking sweet. You understand? Those things,
yes,
is contributing. It's an environment. Now imagine your child grows up in that environment of love and, feeling cared for. So that kind of girl child will hardly fall victim, you understand, in her teenage days, because one of the things that boys use then is to tell them things mommy and dad was not, you're beautiful, and then a small girl hearing somebody, you understand, I'm beautiful.
Thank you.
And then from there, you are beautiful, they wait behind the class, and one or two things begin to happen there. So we need to now we're taking it to the mental aspect now, because it is interwoven. Yes, it is interwoven. So now your environment. Now I want you to ask yourself, as you're watching now, how has your environment influenced your life? Like so far, would you say that your environment, the environment you've lived in geographically and mentally, what you've exposed yourself to, would you say it has impacted your life positively, or the other way? would you say like, you understand? Because, you know, there was a time I used to, you know, coordinate some teenagers, you know, and I was not with them for a while because of some other busy activities. So there was a time I was now with two of them. Now one of them was just unusually active, like overactive, like her words were so raw, like, hey, she's, but she was not like that before. So I was observing. So at some point, I now asked the other, I said, what has changed that this girl was not like this before? She said, she's been surprised too. Now, of course, before they went to school, before I left them, I couldn't really figure out what, you know, was responsible for that. You understand? In fact, maybe I have to even work on that. So, but that day, I knew that she must have been exposed to something within that short period of time. It's either she met a new friend in school who, you understand, was that way, and you can imagine. So, because of roaming with that person, that environment, that, you know, friendship environment has influenced her. And then she was not doing hyper, like if she just says anything, she doesn't even think about, when did you turn like this? So now that is it's as serious as that. So now let's take it a little more serious now. You know, someone said that your network determines your net worth. Now, some of us, we have, you know, we aspire to become great. We have great dreams, great aspirations, but the friends, the people you are roaming with, the people you are, you know, moving with, they are not in any way looking like where you are going. So how in the world do you think you can step out of that circle, step out of that environment, and still go ahead to just stand out and just become successful like that? Now, we'll be going on a musical break. When we come back, we're going to expatiate more on this, and then we'll look at this topic from a more serious perspective and see how our environment really influences our lives and determines where we end up in life. So enjoy this music. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Vibes. Yes, it's Afternoon Vibes, like we have been saying, and our topic today has been your environment. We've talked about many things about our environment, But now we are coming to even our friends. Even sometimes the churches that we go. But let me come to our friends first. So the friends we keep, the people that are always around us, what they say, where the point, the things they emphasize on, or the points they make, even if you don't agree, over time you will start, like I said, it will tweak, might not change your decision, but might tweak your decision. So if you're actually firm on whatever decision you're making, you will need to watch the kind of friends that you have. It's either you change your friends or you let them know that you can't condone things like this and they'll have to change it if you guys will still have to be around one another. So you need to be intentional about your friendship. Like, okay, I want to instance, but I won't give it. So, so it is more like if you want to uphold, okay, I have a friend that is a social media person. Now, she mentioned to me last week that she wants to be intentional about making online Christian friends. Now, she has physical Christian friends and she has online friends. But she says she wants to have more online Christian friends that they will hang out together, talk God, pray and all. It is the intentionality for me, because you might feel you have more, you have Christian physical friends, but you spend more time with social media guys. You spend more time talking social media, talking things, and without you knowing, some of their opinions or their ideas will merge with yours or will mix with yours, that yours will start to get diluted on what you think is the value that you have. So you have to be intentional about who you speak with, who you listen to. So two things involved is either you change your environment. Okay, still coming to where you live. Where you live is important in your life, because that's why you see some people go to live in an estate. It's not only because they have the money to spend. It is also because for their children, it helps their mental health. Some children do not go to expensive schools, but they act expensive, they talk expensive because of the friends that they have. Some were just put in an environment where the friends they have are people that don't see themselves lower than they are. So they speak good English, they do this and that. I know of somebody that did not really go to school, but you won't know because she speaks good English. And that's because of her environment. Even if she had gone to a good school and she was living in a local place, you will hear accents in her words. So that shows how thick our environment takes, or how great an impact it takes in our lives. So if you want to work on the cause of your life, work on your environment. Now, it's either you change your environment or actively create an environment in your environment. If you can't change your environment, create an environment that takes you to where you are going, even with where you are. And okay, like you were saying about somebody that wants to be creative and you cannot go to a place that has water, or you cannot afford an environment where you see nature and it will help your mind. You create nature. You create what you want. So in case you're in an environment where you cannot do without hearing things that does not go with your spirit or your mind or your growth or whatever, you will need to create it. Either you always have an earpiece on that speaks what you need to learn, what you want to know in life, while things around you are going, they'll just see that you are the different one. They'll just, it's possible you have friends, or you have a friend amidst your colleagues or amidst your clique that is different. Check what the person listens to, read, or sees. Even when the person is experiencing the same thing with you, the person is going further to either listen to something different, to watch something different, to feel something different. That is the intentionality we are talking about. So you cannot just decide to say, it is where I found myself, it's not my fault. It is now your fault. It might not be your fault when you were younger, but now that you are older and able to make decisions for yourself, you create the environment you want, even if you cannot leave that place that you are in. First thing, leave if you can. If you can't, create the environment that you need to make you a better person.
Thank you very much. That sounds so motivational. Create the environment that you need to become a better person. Wow, great. Taking it from that point, creating your environment, there's, thank God, we're in digital age and everything is on the internet. There was a particular person I used to watch. This person is someone that God has helped. He has gotten to a level in his field and he has made some money. like, you know, and physically our age difference is not, you know, that just about 2 years difference, but like it's financially it's far, 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 you understand? So now he has a YouTube channel, he drops videos there and all of that. So I noticed that anytime I watch him, I'm not always the same. Like my mind is always challenged. Like I'm always challenged. I always finish once I'm done watching the video, I'm always challenged. You know, now that is, I'm trying to buttress the point of creating the environment. Now my physical environment might not really help so much in challenging me to want to, you know, aspire and do better. It's normal. That's just the truth. So now in a situation whereby maybe because of one thing or the other, because of some factors, you cannot really change your geographical environment, you can create an environment, you understand? And there's a way life even helps, that when you are so intentional about a particular thing, you understand, it's in your mind to do, but you are trying to do it, but because of maybe you are limited in resources, there's a way God designs life, you know, providence, you understand? Is it that God just makes a way for you to either live better or something will just come up like that?
Funny, maybe an angle I'll come through that with is that it's always an opportunity for a difference, but it depends on your will towards it. If you don't see a reason to live where you are, even when the opportunity passes by you, you won't know. But when there's a will to want something different, want something better, you will see it immediately passes because your mind is not here. Your mind is in that new place, and when the new place passes, you will see it.
Now, let me quickly share this personal experience too. There was a particular service I offered to someone, and the amount I charged, it looked, of course, not too high, but it looked like I charged well for it. Now, I now met somebody else who is also, you know, though he doesn't offer that particular service, but he does, he flies drones and he repairs. So, but what he does is, he gets jobs maybe for graphics, video editing, then he will now contract it out. So he will have his own money.
Okay. He's like a middleman.
Middleman kind of, and he's really doing well with it. So when I now told him how much I charge for that particular, now he said what? Now the amount is, he said he will not collect less than this amount. The amount he called was 5 times the amount I charged, that I thought I charged well. True life story. So I didn't, you know, I was telling my colleague, you know, like, see what happened. Now what has happened? What happened is that this other guy, and truly his circle of friends, there are people who stand truly. So that you will be able to appreciate this topic, and we might not have the whole day to expatiate on this, but this little we are saying, take it seriously. Now just look at that. He's not even the one offering the service.
Right.
You understand? 5 times how much I charged, and I felt I charged normally. So which means over time, I charged based on, not based on what I could deliver because it was excellent, at least, you understand, but based on my level of exposure at the time. You understand? Exactly. So even if I want to call a higher amount, because even my mind has not, I've not built my mind to that level, I'll be feeling unworthy of collecting that kind of money. And when you're feeling unworthy of a particular result, it will not come.
To the point that they even give you, not like, oh, thank you, I don't worry, I will do the best, and they wonder what to do.
You understand? So now, the difference between I and that person was that he, you understand, his circle of friends, in fact, and they are the, you understand, at least each of them, you understand? So that has influenced him, and this person, he does not even based on camp like that. He stays in Lagos and all of that. So all those things has influenced his thinking, has, you know, influenced his self-worth. Yeah. So everything put together. So after that encounter, you know, I knew I had to also, you know, work on some certain things. So now, taking a cue from that, some of us might actually need to, with wisdom, change our circle of friends. Not you tell them, please, we're no more friends again. With wisdom. You understand? Because you know where you are going. You understand? You need to challenge yourself. You need to surround yourself with people that, you know, look like where you are going. Is it that they are a little above, like ahead of you, or you both, I mean, all of you have the same drive. Yeah. You understand? But as long as you continue to stay in the midst of those who, you know, who are mediocres in their thinking, you understand? It will affect you, it will choke you. The great dreams you have in you, it will shrink the dream. That's how important your environment can be. So friends too is an environment. You understand? So who are the friends you roam with? Who are the people you chat with? So those things, you understand, influences us. Now, what kind of movies do you watch? I was telling my colleague recently, I said, please, I don't do movies most times like that, but anytime I want to, you know, I want the movie to challenge me. I want something inspirational. So I told him, please, anytime you have a good movie with a very, you know, great story, inspirational, just let me know. Because I noticed that when I watch such movies, like, I feel different. Like, I feel different. It's like, and there's a way I always engross myself in whatever I do. So when I watch, that's why I can't watch all these nonsense, dirty movies, because my imagination is very powerful. So I engross myself in it. So by the time I'm done with the movie, it has impacted me, it has influenced me somehow. So that's how you need to be intentional about everything. The kind of music you listen to, the kind of movies you watch, where you go to, you understand? And sometimes you can even, some of the people who are up there, probably you don't have access to them. You can, like I'm planning to do recently, I told my friend of mine, my colleague, that I mentioned a particular name, that we're going to fix an appointment with this person. Yes, I will just say want to spend time with him, just like, where will he be, so day, so time. And I know he would feel honored, like, wow. And I'm sure he's going to welcome. What are we trying to do? I know we can't be around such a person 2 to 3 hours and our mind will remain the same. It's not possible. So if you truly are hungry for success, if you truly are, you don't just want to just live or just exist, you want to make a mark, then you need to be intentional about your environment. Mental environment, physical environment, friends environment, environment where you live. Of course, you might not be able to afford your stand, but like Debbie said, you can create an environment within your environment. And there's a way life even helps. I know what I'm saying. There's a way God, you know, like somebody said, when there's a will, there's a way. So if you are intentional about it and you are prayerful, God will gradually be making a way, you know, for you. You understand? And if you can't even afford that, create an environment for yourself on the internet. There are videos you can watch. Just do anything to challenge yourself beyond what you are, you know, usually exposed to. Sorry to say, this is a little controversial. Some of us, the church we attend, I'm not saying change if you attend. I'm not saying change church, but you might change parish. Yes. Because what you are getting from the altar, that's your spiritual food. Thank God for the personal study you do. Thank God for open heavens. But the word we receive from the altar, where you go to, it has great impact. It does. So the quality of the food will determine the quality of your spiritual health. So if because of your religious mentality, say, if I leave, what will daddy say?
I've been here for 10 years. I'm loyal to God or to the parish or to the pastor.
If you have a life to live, you have a destiny to fulfill, if you know that, what I'm getting here is not satisfying that hunger, you understand, that quest, there's a level of hunger that God has put in you, which is in, the same degree with what you want to become. So if what you're getting is not satisfying that, you might need to prayerfully.
And then say, don't go and turn to church adulterer.
Yeah.
Make sure that you prayerfully get that place so that you won't come here and say that, okay, I'm not going.
So not quote me, prayerfully in quotes.
So that you won't live here and say, no, I'm not going here. Go to another place. No, I'm not. It won't help you still. So make sure that you're going to the next place with a godly agenda and God's direction in mind.
Yes, and something just came to mind, like maybe somebody is watching now, probably maybe somebody is even working in the church, like that's what you're getting. So of course, that's why, like I said, that's why we have the internet there. You can now have a schedule. You understand? There are different ministers of God. Okay, maybe God is leading you to somebody. You can download that person's messages and you'll be, watching. So if you are intentional about it, even if you don't have one naira, there's still a way God has designed life to, just support. When you are intentional about a thing, there's a way some divine provisions just come your way, except if you are not intentional. That's why somebody, you see some people, they don't have, they don't have a house of their own, but on the island, they are actually tenants. Now, the amount they are paying there, in 1 year, can buy a house on the mainland. But they are still there.
They know why.
You understand? They know why. They know what they are doing. You understand? It's not just for luxury. They know that in that...
Not everybody. Some people.
Some people, exactly. They know that in that environment, they can easily meet people.
They can connect.
Yes.
They can get better jobs. There are some events that some people go to. And that event, they might have to pay more than they earn to get to that event. But because they know that in this environment, I think better, I experience better, I see as a difference. The difference is just always clear. Clear.
Yes. You know, I remember the time when I just started, you know, visiting the island. Then I just noticed that, you know, that Lekki toll gate. Once I passed,
It feels like
that,
a difference.
honestly,
All right.
once we pass that Lekki toll gate like this, I just begin to feel different. In fact, you know, that's just it. Okay, somebody who, you know, an average Nigerian is not, how will I put it? I don't want to use the word lawless now. You know, like somebody can just be eating something from the car now, throw the nylon on the road. We're carefree. But the same person lets the person get to America without anybody telling you this is America change.
Okay.
The environment alone, you just comport yourself. You won't take a bottled water and just fling it on the road. Nobody told you not to do it, but what happened? What has changed? Environment. So now, having known all of this, probably you do not know it's as serious as that. So now begin to look into your life, you know, and look at, you know, your friends, your circle of friends, look at where you live, your neighbors, the people you discuss football with almost all the time. This is how you know, when you talk football, you are always talking from an intelligent perspective. But when this person will talk, you always, you know.
or even an optimistic perspective. And the other one just feel like, well, call it over time. You say
That
like
pessimism way of thinking would, you know, penetrate. So don't be sorry about it. Don't be apologetic about it. If there's anything you need to change, if there's any relationship or friendship you need to change with wisdom, or you understand.
And don't be rude.
Don't be rude, but don't be apologetic about it because it's your life. Look at the experience. I mean, the experience I said. I charged normally, it's, you know, and I felt, oh, I've done well. And somebody said he will never collect less than this amount. And the amount he said was exactly 5 times of in the same location. We're in the same location. So environment is just important. It's important. Don't just allow life to happen to you. You understand? You happen to life. You understand? You happen to life. You know, we can't oversay this, that life is 1%. That is so, it's so scary. Life is 1% what happens to you. 99% how you respond. Chai. So which means many of the things we cry to God for, many of the things we feel disadvantaged for, like I'm just disadvantaged, it's actually within our control. It's either we don't know what to do. You understand? For instance, this environment, and some people do not know that that's what is really affecting their thinking. You understand? And you are surprised. Some of your counterparts, your friends in different locations, they are doing well. You know, you see them on social media.
God, what happened to
you are now wondering what's happened. See,
me?
It has happened to me before. You know, what's happened to me? What's happening to me? Now, you need to change some things. Change the information that comes in. You understand? Because that's the food for the mind. You understand? And that's what influences what you do. See, don't take your life lightly. I'm taking it personal now. You understand? Because I just sense that there's some of us that have been too long on a level. We're been too long in that space. You understand? Nothing new is happening. You understand? You need to intentionally challenge yourself. You understand? Visit some of your friends that are doing fine. I did that. You understand? Before.
I do that.
You understand? There was a friend of mine. God has helped him to. You know, I was in his house not too long, and he's doing 2 things majorly. And I asked him. You know, we're talking normal heart-to-heart stuff. I said, please, now between the 2 of us. Between this thing and this thing, which one, I don't want to say it, you know, which one has brought you more money? I was even thinking it was the other part, you understand? Okay, I can mention the other first part, freelance, you know, freelancing on international platforms where you offer service to. So that was what I felt was giving him more of the money. Before that time, he said, I will not lie to you that it's not this, it's this. I said, really? You understand? And I said, wow. I said, yeah, I've been having in mind to do that too. And he said, don't delay. He said he's ready to train me. And so that conversation also, when I left his place, I did not leave. I was not the same again. I wrote it down in my to-do list. This thing that I've been taking lightly, I have to take it seriously. So, and do you understand? So don't just watch your life, you know, sleep, wake up, nothing is challenged. If that is your experience, sleeping, waking up, nothing, change something. You understand? Go, just take a weekend off. Just expose your mind, expose yourself to a different environment. You understand? And you see that, you thank God for it. You thank God for it. You thank God for it. There are some times that even spiritually, concerning our spiritual life now, you don't just feel the urge to pray like before. and you know, maybe it was just an attack of the enemy, or the devil just makes you get unusually busy. You're just busy and busy. Now, if you cannot, you know, maybe talk to a person, a brother in church or something, go online. You cannot listen to Apostle Michael Orokpa. By the time you listen to one or two of his messages, you're fine. You understand, something will challenge you. By the time it begins to tell, you know, so just do something. Just do something.
Or if it is a friend that's even abroad, make a call. You can do online calls and have long prayer talks, pray together, do things together. At least I did it some weeks ago, or some moments ago, let me say. So in case you are not doing well in anything, and the person that can help you is not close to you, like we said, that some of us will change the location to where you can get the place. In case you cannot get it, that person you need to meet with, have extensive gist online, have extensive hangouts online. I can call it hangout, but just have discussions. You will realize that you are learning one or two things in lame discussions. And that's why even with our, what's it called, our friends that we gist with, sometimes it's not like they sit us down to advise us on anything. Sometimes it's not like they sit us down to tell us that this is my mindset and I must stuff it into your throat. But in conversation, in gists, in whatever, we imbibe personalities. We take in ideas that was not verbally spoken of or not verbally given. We just take it in like diffusion. So you need to be more intentional than this world is intentional about us, than the devil is even intentional about us, because we realize that things that we don't take seriously are the things that are seriously changing our lives. Things that we don't put as important. Okay, imagine cartoon that we are always happy to put our children in front of cartoons so that they will not disturb us. But now, with your intentionality, you have to watch the cartoon with them. You cannot feel like and that's an environment that is changing the lives of people from childhood now. So those kind of things that are looking like it's just going into our lives without us being intentional, either the school that we go to as students, the class, the kind of gist that we have. If you cannot leave the class, they might be gisting. You focus on something else, something that will make you see things better than how they are seeing it. So you need to be extremely intentional. I am being intentional about mine because I've seen the reasons I think the way I think. I've seen the reasons I see things, which I mention to people that are ready to hear. So when because I've seen that, I'm trying to be intentional. Even some plans I had for my near future, the short-term plans I had, I realized that I might not get there with this environment. So now I've tweaked the short-term plans to get me a better environment. So that is very important.
Wow, this is a very interesting topic. Actually, I'm just feeling good talking about it. I don't know. You understand? Maybe I'm perceiving that somebody is getting value out there, and you know, and thank God we got a comment from what's his name now? Kayode Alaka, Brand Plus Films.
Okay.
He said, well done. Thank you very much. If you're still watching us, Mr. Kayode, thank you so much. We are grateful. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. We appreciate. So, as we are going to be rounding off this discussion today because of time, so I believe we have said a lot, you know, we have said a lot on this topic, your environment. So now, look into your life, look at what you need to change. You look at, you know, friends, people you need to, you know, just move back from.
You can still be talking.
You can still be talking. They can just be acquaintance. You understand? An intention. And then, before I go, there's this thing also that came to mind. Look into your phone contacts. There are some contacts there that are destiny, you know, relationships. There are people that you can, you know, actually connect with, you understand, and that will really influence your life positively and even help you in what you do. So I'm talking about how to change your circle of friends now. So scan through your contact and pick out 1, 2, 3. You understand? And how do you establish relationship? Gradually, just check out the person, check on the person. Happy New Month. message. Like I used to do that. It was every first day of the month. That's the day I used to reach out to some of those official Happy New Month, this and that. You get it. So by the time you do that 1 month, 2 months, the person feels, it's like this person is having me in mind. The next time the person is likely to also reciprocate, you know. So gradually you are trying to establish something. You understand? It's very possible. It's not everybody that is proud, like, I don't know, let me not go on. You understand?
Let the person first show you the pride before you conclude.
Before you now conclude. You get it? So, and at least I've met people like that. So that could be a way of, you know, finding new friends, changing your circle of friends, and changing your realities.
Out of the topic, one of the reasons we don't want to hear or we don't want to meet these people is that we are scared of hearing no. Please, what does no do to us? The worst you can hear is no. And then you move to the next person. Because you are being intentional about your life, you won't see the response of the other person. It is your life, and you have to hold the bull by its own. So anyhow it is going to be, meet this person, I need your help, or don't just go straight to I need your help. Like he said, create relationship. Then over time, even without you asking for help, the person might even see that I need to influence this person. And if the person is not intentional about it, you can just ask, I need to learn this thing. And if there's something that you self can teach, do it as a trade by barter. Anyhow you can make your own life better. And it don't look like you're being a parasite to the other person. Make sure, by all means, do it. Don't be scared of hearing no. That has sent us far from our helpers. That's made me to stop being, to learn to stop being shy. Because being shy is also part of not wanting to hear no. Because you don't want to look some kind of way. You don't want to be some kind of way. There's nothing that will stop you from, that can stop you from where you're going. You are the one that's stopping yourself. The fear of hearing no, even the person that will tell you yes, you won't want to meet the person. So you won't get the help you need, the time you need it. Make sure you take the bull by the horn.
Yes. And you know, I remember, just based on what I said on how to, you know, how to change your circle of friends, and you can actually scan through your phone. And I just remember that something like that has happened before, and I even offered to offer the service I render. I offered that service free twice to that person. What doing was, I was always checking on him. Then about 2 times I made him know how much his life has inspired me. I told him that his life has inspired me even from a distance. You understand? So he now felt wow, like, and he did not know me from anywhere. I said, you understand? So he now saw that, like, this person really sees something special in me. So there was a time he got to know what I do. So that particular, I offered the service twice at 2 different times. Do you know what? After that time, he created a group. He called it something Crib or so. He created a group and added just about 4 or 5 of us like that from different locations, and then started mentoring us. Like, seriously. And our relationship has grown far past beyond that now. Right. So you can see that now. And so sometimes there was a day, one of my boss, my immediate boss, he heard me talk about the person. He said, you know him? I said, yes, how do you know?
Yes, now.
So you can just be smart. You understand? I saw him, what he's doing, and a young guy is living, girl, what's happening now? So I gradually penetrated, find my way into his space. And he saw that I'm a serious person. I'm not a pest. And he allowed me into his space.
Use what you have
to get
what you want, except your body. What he had, or rather what he still has,
yes,
he has used it to get what he wants. Use what you have to get, if that's the only thing you even get today. Like, if possible, if it's only your phone that you have and you don't have a good environment around you, you can use your phone that you have to get the environment that you want. So use what you have to get what you want.
Shikeno. Yeah, Selah. Pause and calmly think about that. So we'll be wrapping it here today. We thank God for the great things that He has shared through us today. I'm sure you've gained 2 things, I'm sure. And like we said, that don't just watch the show. You know, we used to get feedbacks like, I enjoyed your show, I learned at this. But we would appreciate if, you know, at least once in a while, you know, contribute while the show is live. Like Mr. Kayode. Mr. Kayode is our hero for today. Thank you so much. So always, you know, it encourages us. Just 1 line, well done. You know, it encourages us.
And share to someone that you think needs to hear this.
Yes. Share
Go online in case you're not watching online and just share.
Yes.
So it's somebody, you might not know how to tell the person this thing that you think the person needs to know. just send it to the person, let the person watch it,
Yes.
and you'll be a blessing.
Yes. Thank you so much. My name is Shayo John Adebayo.
I am Akinwale Deborah Oluwayemisi.
Keep watching RTM and don't forget, we love you. Bye.
Iche Henry Soul YB hit with the beat. Oh yeah. For this life I'm settled, oh God don't settle me, settled, oh Bankalati balance. Aye, see me see flexing, no more hustle, oh. Settled, oh God don't settle my matter. For Calvary I been the hustle morning, night and day. Salary must complete for man to pay the bills. So work hard, I don't tire. I need the grace to run the race, but to get money now by the way. I begin to run heavenly race. As I begin to run heavenly race, my bread and fish they feed the states. Carry basket make you come and take go. The leftover you no go waste. From Abia Lane to Lagos State, I don't become the head of state. My matter it don't become debate. For this life I'm settled, oh God don't settle me. Oh yeah, settled, oh Bankalati balance. Aye, see me see flexing, no more hustle, oh. Settled, oh God don't settle my matter. For Calvary, oh yeah dance, dan. Sample toko. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Every other thing go follow. You go buy motor, you no go borrow. Your pikin go laugh, you no go sorrow. Your wife go spend the dough. Chicago today, Dubai tomorrow. Your mama go rock the Fendi, yo. Your papa go wear the Gucci, yo. Bugatti go back for your garage. Everywhere he don't palace. No matter go come become debate. For this life I'm settled, oh God don't settle me, oh.